Yo, it's your boy J Bess, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 13. All right, so today we have a lot of topics to get through. I'm gonna be showing y'all the best 5 plays of week 10, followed by, instead of doing the week 10 dogs, we're gonna have an MVP conversation. I'm excited to talk about that, and then I'm gonna show y'all the current playoff picture. The playoffs going to start today, followed by a roller coaster. I'm gonna talk about this roller coaster that everybody's been riding as of late, and then I'm gonna answer the question: is it time to panic in Buffalo? Okay, following that loss to the Broncos. And then we're going to talk about the 49ers statement win this past weekend. And then I'm going to end the episode with my Thursday night football preview between the Bengals and the Ravens. A huge AFC North battle going on tonight. All right. So that's a lot to get through, but I'm going to get through it pretty fast. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. But as always, I got to thank God for waking me up this morning and allowing me to talk about sports, which is something that I love to do. Without him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and get straight to the point. All right, the best 5 plays of week 10. Normally there is an honorable mention, but today there is no honorable mention. We had 5 great plays. It wasn't that hard to pick them, but it was hard to put them in order. All right, so number 5, I got to go with CeeDee Lamb's one-handed catch. Look, DB had his right hand, but he said, "Look, all I need is my left hand." And he made the grab. CeeDee Lamb been on the tear the past couple of weeks, putting up huge numbers, becoming Dak Prescott's favorite target. Last year, it was Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz left. We had questions. Who is Dak going to rely on? He's clearly relying on CeeDee Lamb, the #1 receiver, who's making grabs like this throughout the year and putting up huge numbers for Dallas. So great job, CeeDee Lamb. Number 4, I got to go with Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame, made a great grab. Well, I like to call it a head tap, right? You got Moss, whatever you want to say. He made a great grab. He's becoming that third option that Oakland needs. All right, Devontae Adams, #1, Jacoby Myers, #2, Michael Mayer, #3 in the passing game. And making plays like this is only going to help you get more opportunities in the future. Great job to the Notre Dame tight end, Michael Mayer, who had huge expectations coming into the league. All right, #3, I got to go with David Montgomery's touchdown run. Like, this might be the longest touchdown run I've ever seen in my life. And I mean long as in duration, how long the play took to be over with. But all this does, this shows how the Detroit Lions are going to beat you. They're going to punch you in the mouth. They're going to make plays in the run game. Their explosive plays are going to come from their two-headed monster in the backfield, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. All right, and they're going to make plays like this throughout the year. So if you got to play Detroit Lions, go ahead and buckle your helmet up extra tight because they're going to punch you in the mouth. And they're not just going to get little short yards. They're going to make big plays like this. So great job to the O-line. Great job, David Montgomery, navigating his way to the end zone on a huge touchdown run, right? But it wasn't top 2 because #2, I got to go with Chris Olave's touchdown grab. Y'all, Chris Olave might as well have a residency on my best 5 plays because he's up here almost every single week because he's making huge plays for the New Orleans Saints, all right? He is easily a top 10 receiver in this league. Can't get to the top 5 yet, but if you keep making plays like this, I'm going to have to make a debate about it, all right? Chris Olave goes up, makes his grab on Byron Murphy, got the feet down as well. Not just a great catch, but he also got the feet down. Wasn't enough to get the team back into the game. They ended up losing, but Chris Olave, great grab. Hey, when you have a #1 receiver like that, just throw it up to him, let him make a play. All right, #1, like Chris Olave, y'all think that was great, right? But watch this. #1, Russell Wilson magic. All right, Russell Wilson made a huge play right here. All right, he made the defender miss the sack in the backfield, and then he throws an absolute dime. Last week, I talked about Jalen Hurts' pass to Devontae Smith, saying that was the pass of the year. Well, it just got beat in a matter of a week, all right? Because Russell Wilson put this ball in a perfect spot. Like people say, well, the truth is nobody's been perfect since Jesus Christ, right? Jesus is the only perfect person to ever walk this planet. Well, this play was just as perfect as Jesus was because look, that ball couldn't be anywhere else but in his breadbasket. All right, that was a perfect pass by Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson been balling these past couple of weeks, man. He has. So do not sleep on the Broncos. Unfortunately, I counted them out earlier this season. I would come up here and admit I was wrong. If Russell Wilson making plays like this, I trust that the Broncos will get the job done and get back into the playoff hunt. All right. So that's my best 5 plays from week 10. Normally, like I said, I would do my week 10 dogs, right? The best performers from week 10. But I want to have a conversation with y'all about the MVP, okay? The MVP award is always a quarterback award. Every year, a quarterback wins it. We've had a very rare couple of times in history. I think only one time a defender has won it. Maybe One time, I think Adrian Peterson won it, right? So very few times in history has a non-quarterback won the MVP award. Well, this year, I'm advocating that there has to be a non-quarterback to win this award because there are 5 players that's playing better than every single quarterback in the league right now. There's no quarterback that is just having an eye-popping season this year. They're just not. Even Patrick Mahomes is not. Lamar Jackson is not. I think that Dak Prescott is not. Anybody that the media says is in the MVP conversation, Tua, right? All these quarterbacks, I don't think they're having a better year than these 5 players. Okay, these 5 players are AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett. All 5 of these players are having the best season they possibly can right now, and I think they have to be awarded for it. And the thing is, what is the MVP, right? I think people get very confused with what it is because MVP means the most valuable player. That means you are the most valuable player to your team. Now, if we go that route, that means that basically this team is nothing without you. I'm looking at TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Without them, the Steelers and the Browns are not where they are right now. They're both 6-3. Neither one of them are that good without these 2 players. So they are literally valuable players that if they wasn't on the team would be bad. But then I look at these other 3 players, and you can say most valuable player is, like I said, you're just valuable to your team. Or you can argue that it's the best player on the best team, like in the NBA. Right? In the NBA, they kind of say that the MVP got to be the best player on the best team. In the NBA, you don't see a player on a bad team win the MVP. Same thing in the NFL. You never seen really a quarterback on a bad team win. But A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, and Christian McCaffrey are the most productive stars on their explosive teams. Like you look at the Eagles. The Eagles are loaded on offense, right? Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, DeAndre Swift this year. But A.J. Brown is having the most productive year out of all of them. He is that name that pops out whenever you think about the Eagles. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. He's on the offense with Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, right? That offense is loaded, but he's having the most productive year on the best offense. And the Tyreek Hill, a team that put up 70, right? They had weapons all over the place. Jalen Waddle, they got Devon Achane in the running back position, Raheem Mostert running back position, right? This team is loaded as well. But Tyreek Hill stands out amongst all of them. And it's a gap between Tyreek Hill and his teammates, Christian McCaffrey and his teammates, and A.J. Brown and his teammates. So I really think that it should be out of these 5 players. There's not one quarterback that I would vote to win the MVP this year because it just hasn't been that year, right? Sometimes you're going to have players that outplay the quarterbacks. And I think that these 5, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, T.J. Watt, and Myles Garrett, has all had great years. And I think they all deserve to be in the MVP conversation. All right. So that's the conversation I wanted to have with y'all about the MVP. Because like I said, it's a QB award, but this year it should not be. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the current playoff picture. All right. The season was to end right now. Is your team in the playoffs? All right. I'm about to tell you if they are. If the playoffs started today, the AFC would look like this. The Chiefs will have the first round bye, right? They're the number 1 seed. Then you have the Ravens at 2, the Jaguars at 3, the Dolphins at 4, the Steelers at 5, Browns 6, Texans. The Houston Texans, led by C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans, have the 7th spot if the playoffs were to start today. All right, so those matchups will look like this. In the first round, you have the Ravens versus the Texans. The Texans at Baltimore. Okay, put it like that. You will have the Browns at Jacksonville and the Steelers at Miami. Those would be great matchups if the playoffs were to start today. All right, for the NFC, we're looking at the Eagles at the number 1 seed, the Lions number 2, 49ers number 3, the Saints number 4, Seahawks number 5, Cowboys number 6, and Vikings number 7. Okay, so that wild card round started today. The matchups would be Vikings at Detroit, Cowboys at San Francisco, and then Seahawks at New Orleans. All right, so those will be some pretty good wild card matchups. But we're heading into Week 11. All right, this playoff picture is not done. It's not set. We got plenty more weeks to go, and this thing is going to change around throughout these next couple of weeks. But speaking of just the NFL in general, man, Week 10, there was 5 game-winning field goals in Week 10. All right, so that just lets you know that it's starting to get tight. Teams are starting to realize, look, we got to stack up some wins if we want to get to the big dance, and that's the playoffs. All right, so a lot of teams are winning close games because every team There's only a couple teams that are mathematically like eliminated. Like I really don't think nobody is mathematically eliminated, but there's some teams where you're like, look, they're just not going. The Giants, the Cardinals, right? The Jets, as of right now, I don't even think Aaron Rodgers should come back. But there's a couple teams like that you just look at and say they're not. The Packers, right? They're not going to the playoffs, but everybody else has a shot to get into the big dance. And when you get to the big dance, you never know what could happen. All right, so that's the current playoff picture. And like I said, we got weeks to go, so this thing is going to change around. But now it's time for everybody to put your seatbelts on, and let's get on the Cowboys roller coaster. Okay. This past week, I'm watching ESPN, watching First Take. Like I said, I watch my sports shows, and it doesn't. I don't take what they say and come and say it, but it just gets my brain flowing, right? And of course, I just love to watch sports shows on TV. On First Take, there was a question, and I love the Stephen A. response. Stephen A. said H no, right? But it doesn't dismiss the fact that this was the question. The question was, is Dak Prescott an all-time great Dallas Cowboys quarterback? That was the question on First Take. All right. I have a problem with that. Why are we even putting this question out there? I don't understand. He's nowhere. First of all, Troy Aikman and Rodgers, it's a big gap between Troy Aikman, Rodgers, and Dak. It's a huge gap because they delivered rings. They did, and they're also considered all-time great QBs. Like Troy Aikman might be a top 10 quarterback of all time. Rodgers might be top 20, top 15. Dak Prescott is nowhere near. So the fact that we're even saying is he an all-time great quarterback, putting him in the same breath as Troy and Rodgers thought about, I think that's disrespectful to them. And then on Get Up, they said Dominic Foxworth, all right, came out and said that Dak Prescott's the best QB in the NFL. All right, so I named this segment the Cowboys Rollercoaster because we do this every single year. When I say this extent, this is just bad. But normally the Cowboys will beat some bad teams. Then they have a big matchup against a good team, like the 49ers, get punched in the mouth. Then the media comes out and we're talking about how Dak Prescott's not good enough, the Cowboys not good enough. Then they beat some more sorry teams. And then we say, oh, they're back. The Cowboys are back. Then they lose to another great team. We're talking about how bad they are. And then they beat someone. It's a roller coaster, right? It's up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like a cycle, all right? And this time, the cycle with the roller coaster with Dak Prescott is killing me. When they lost to the Arizona Cardinals, Dak Prescott could not put up points. Dak Prescott threw a game-ending interception. We dogged him out, talked about him. Then they beat a couple of bad teams, right? And now we praising them. We praising Dak and the Cowboys. Dak goes against the 49ers, throw 3 interceptions, lose 42-10. We're dogging out Dak. Dak is not good. Dak is not good. Dak has played some sorry teams between that and now. Against the Eagles, he played pretty good, no doubt. And the Eagles is a good team, right? So that was the only game, and I even came out and I gave Dak Prescott credit, but they still lost the game. But between the 49ers game and now, they played some sorry teams other than the Eagles. And now we're talking about Dak being the best quarterback in the league. He just played the Giants this past weekend, and we're talking about him being the best quarterback. So that's the reward that you get from beating probably the worst team I've ever seen in my life in the Giants. And you're going to give him that? You're going to give him the best quarterback in the league? Okay. Look, I don't know why I'm wasting my time talking about this because I have told y'all 1,000 times that Prescott is not the guy. And he proves it time and time again. But, he have a couple of good games. Now we reward him. You know what I think it is, though? I think it's the fact that, remember when everybody was talking about Dak, they was down on Dak, and Michael Parsons came out and said, basically he said, right, I'm paraphrasing, that y'all are being too hard on Dak. Y'all talk about him too much. Then I remember watching First Take one time, and Molly was like, we're too hard on Dak. Now they want to be so nice. They're being too nice at this point. All right, it's okay to say that Dak has been playing the best over the past couple of weeks. So it's okay to say that because I can agree with that. But to come out and say that he's the best quarterback in the league, that's a statement you're making, basically saying that he's better than Mahomes, he's better than Jalen Hurts, he's better than Joe Burrow, he's better than Lamar Jackson, he's better than I don't agree with that. Not at all. He's not even a top 5 quarterback today. And like I said, this is recency bias against some bad teams. And the statement is not he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Don't say that. Say that he played the best over the past couple of weeks. I will give you that. But to say he's the best, that's just blasphemy. It just is. And Dak Prescott, like I said, to go from Last year he led the league in interceptions. I think he only played like 11 games, something like that. He missed some games, and he led the league in interceptions. Then this year he comes out. He's not playing too high against the Cardinals. Like I said, game-winning interception, and they say he's missing throws throughout that whole entire game. Then he plays the 49ers, 3 interceptions. How did all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, he's the best quarterback in the league? Like that makes no sense. That this is and somebody on Instagram, right? I must have made it, y'all. I must have made it to the top because I already got haters on Instagram talking about my takes are garbage, and somebody came out and said that you're gonna see Dak's greatness when he gets to Vegas. What? What are you talking about? Dak Prescott is not good. Okay, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna say it again. Dak Prescott is not good. Okay, he balls out against the bad teams. Even when he played his best against the Eagles, he had the ball on the 6-yard line with 27 seconds left. I don't want no excuses. If you're the best quarterback in the league, you're going to get the job done. But I knew that whole drive. I said Dak is not finna get in the end zone, and he did not. The whole offense just fell apart. And he's the quarterback. So guess what? The offense is a reflection of you. The offense fell apart and y'all lost the game. It's the 49ers. You threw 3 interceptions. 3. You are the reason why this team has lost in the playoffs the past couple of years. I don't know why. Y'all keep doing this with Dak. Y'all keep praising him, then being down on him, then praising him, then being down on him. That's a disservice to him. At least I'm consistent with it. At least I'm gonna tell you from the first game to the first week to week 17 that Dak Prescott's not good. At least I'm gonna be consistent. But y'all want to lie, y'all gonna be wrong again because in a couple of weeks when they play a good team, when they play the Eagles, right? He'll get punched in the mouth, and then I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna look at y'all and say, "I told you so." Dak Prescott is not the guy. He's just not. But that's cool. Y'all say what y'all want to say, and I'll just be right, like I always am. All right. Next, we got to talk about Buffalo. Is it time to panic in Buffalo? So the Buffalo Bills right now are sitting at 5-5, I believe, and they just lost to the Denver Broncos. And to me, it was a bad loss because the Bills needed to win. The Bills need to win 2 games. As of right now, they're not even in the playoff picture. All right, I showed y'all that playoff picture. The Bills are not even in it. They're in the hunt. Right? Normally, in the past couple of years, the Bills are owning the playoff. They're normally like the number 1 seed, number 2 seed because they're dominating throughout the regular season. Well, this year, it's the opposite. And is it time to panic in Buffalo? You fire your offensive coordinator after that game on Monday night. When I don't think the offensive coordinator is the problem. The problem is easily Josh Allen, and the defense is not where it used to be. So Josh Allen cannot afford to turn the ball over the way that he's been turning the ball over. Like since he came into the league, he has thrown the most interceptions more than any quarterback in that time span. Every single year he's been in the league, I think he led the league in interceptions. Josh Allen, you can't. It was okay the past couple of years to throw these picks because you had a defense that can get the ball back or get a turnover and get the ball right back to you, and then you capitalize off of it. Your defense is not there right now. Your defense has some injuries. They have Von Miller who's trying to get back to his normal self. The defense is not great. All right, so because you're throwing these interceptions now, they're turning into points for the other team. Versus the past couple of years, you throw an interception, and guess what? You get the ball right back. Or worst case scenario, it turns to a field goal, not a touchdown. All right, this year you can't afford those interceptions. And the thing with Josh Allen is you gonna live and die by him. You gonna live whenever he is having those 300-yard passing games, 400-yard passing games, 4 touchdowns. He can do it. We all seen him do it. Josh Allen is elite. Don't get me wrong. He's a top 5 talent at quarterback. Being a top 5 quarterback, he might be in that 6'5" area, but Josh Allen is definitely elite. And now, like I said, you live with that or you die by the interceptions. He's a gunslinger, which means the more times I throw the ball, the more likely I am to throw an interception. That's simple math. So Josh Allen, look, it's his fault. It's not the OC fault. See, they fired Ken Dorsey for no reason, in my opinion. And if the team turns it around after this firing, then we all know it was him. But I don't think they will. I think they'll find a way to get into the playoffs. I'm not gonna count them out yet because I still believe in Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Dawson Kincaid is a tight end that's emerging on this team. I do think they have on defense, Von Miller eventually will get back. Or maybe Von Miller just washed. Maybe. But I'm not going to just count them out like that. They've been dominant the past couple of years. I can't just throw them away after struggling over the past couple of weeks and being 5-5. They're still very much alive. But, hey, the Bengals, right? Bengals losing. I'm sorry, the Browns. The Browns losing to Deshaun Watson might just open up an extra playoff spot for the Bills, right? So, and the Bengals, right? The Bengals starting to fall off a little bit. So the Bills definitely have a huge chance to make the playoffs. They're not done, but is it time to panic? I would say yes, because the team is not. The team can't keep deflecting from Josh Allen. It can't say it's Ken Dorsey's fault. No, it's Josh Allen's fault, right? The interceptions, you can't. The thing about football is if you don't turn the ball over 9 times out of 10, you're going to win. If you do, you're probably going to lose. The more turnovers you have, you're probably going to lose. I think it is time to panic only because I don't like how they fired the OC when the OC not throwing interceptions. But when it comes to can they still make the playoffs, I still believe they can. All right, so that's it for Buffalo. Once again, time to panic only because they fired the OC, which I don't think was a really good move. But I think they still have a chance to make it to the playoffs. All right, I'm almost done. I got 2 more topics to go through. The 49ers. Most people would come up here and say the 49ers are back. The 49ers are back in action. They never left. I came up here and I told y'all that over the 3 weeks that they was losing, I said, don't panic. Relax. It's okay. They're going to figure it out. They have the bye week coming up. They're going to get it together. They got Chase Young now. They're good. Okay, they had injury. Debo Samuel was hurt. Trent Williams was hurt. Relax. But people wanted to overreact. People wanted to, once again, it's that roller coaster. Not just the Cowboys, but all the sports media rides the roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. 1 week they love you, 1 week they hate you. You lose a couple of games, they hate you. You win a game, they love you. I don't understand that. I believe in consistency. Be consistent with your take. If you think they're good, even when they lose, they're still good. Unless they just get their brains beat in, they're losing like 5 games straight. No, they lost 3 games after going 5-0. They lost 3 games. They had injuries during those games, and now they're back fully healthy, and they're a juggernaut. And they are probably they're going to compete for the NFC Championship with the Eagles. They came out there and they embarrassed the Jacksonville Jaguars. I did an episode last week for my picks. Normally I do the picks episode. I haven't done an episode in a while because of some things that have been going on. But I did an episode, and when I went to go publish it, it was laggy. Like, it was lagging real bad. I guess the Wi-Fi wasn't that great. But I did say that the 49ers are going to go and embarrass the Jacksonville Jaguars. I promise I did. All right, I called it. I said the 49ers are back. The Jaguars are, to me, they're a phony team. I don't believe in them at all. And going into this game, I just knew it was a real team versus a fake team. A real contender versus a fake contender. And I knew this was going to happen. They got ran through by the 49ers, all right? So the 49ers, to me, they're back. Well, I'm sorry, they never left, because I never said that they did leave. I never said that they was going to struggle. I never said that it's a time to panic in San Francisco. No, they're a great team with a great coach. They was hurt. Now they're healthy, and they're beating teams like the Jaguars. What was it, 34-3, I believe? So once again, the 49ers are back. They never left. And if y'all notice, Chase Young, he won 34-3. Chase Young, he actually came in and got a sack his first game back. Him and Nick Bosa had a combined sack for his first game with the 49ers. So that's just a good sign for this defense. The defense finally got to the quarterback. And then Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator, came down to the sideline. I think that was a huge help with this defense. Now they can communicate a lot better. The 49ers, man, they're just a really good team that I don't know why people threw the towel in on. They started to say, "Ooh, watch out, the 49ers falling off." No, they was hurt. 3 losses. Relax. They'll be just fine, all right? So the 49ers never left. And it's time to end this episode with my Thursday night football preview tonight between the Bengals and the Ravens. This is a huge game, not just for the NFL, but for me, because, you know, my Steelers are in the AFC North. So by that theory, right, maybe a Steelers fan, I'm going for the Bengals. I need the Ravens to lose. The Ravens lose, Steelers win this weekend. We are number 1 in that division. All right, so really this is a game that neither teams can lose. The Ravens do not want to lose that top spot in the AFC North. And the Bengals do not want to probably be like eliminated from even having a chance to get to the playoffs. Not mathematically, but morally, and the fact that they'll have 6 losses after today, that would be huge, in my opinion. The Bengals lost this game. So because the Bengals cannot afford to lose this game at all, like the Ravens, I'm sorry, they have 4 losses. So this would be their 5th loss. Sorry. If the Ravens lose this game, all they're gonna do is drop to a wild card spot. if the Bengals lose this game, they're going to drop lower in the playoff hunt, right? They're not even in the playoff picture right now. So just looking at this game, I gotta go with the Bengals. All right, I gotta go with the Bengals because I think that this is a must win. They cannot afford to lose. If they lose, their chances of going to the playoffs become slim. And I think I would not bet against Joe Burrow in an important game like this. All right. Yes, the Ravens are more complete. T. Higgins is not playing. Sam Hubbard is not playing. For the Bengals are two players that they really need. But I just can't bet against Joe Burrow in a must-win, back against the wall kind of game. Right, Joe Burrow gives me Brady vibes. Not that he's Tom Brady, but just the way that he plays and just you fear him like you feared Brady. All right, you knew he was gonna make the right play. You knew he was gonna be accurate. You knew he was gonna make the right throws, and you just can never count him out. This Bengals team started off slow last year. They got hot, cruised right into the playoffs, and cruised straight to the AFC Championship. Of course, they lost to the Chiefs, but this year it hasn't been like that. Right, they started off slow, they got hot, then they lost to the Texans last week. That's a loss that they cannot afford. And I think it's because they was looking forward to this Baltimore Ravens game. And because of that, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game. Like I said, Joe Burrow cannot lose this game. They lose, they're in trouble. Capital T. All right. So because, like I said, back against the wall, I got to go with the Bengals. The Ravens, they dropped one against the Browns, right? The thing about the AFC right now is you cannot afford losses because of how tight it is. It is so close. All the records are so close. You cannot lose games right now. And because the Ravens let go of that Cleveland game last week, I think that's really going to hurt them too when it comes to winning the division. But the Ravens know that, hey, we dropped one last week, we can't drop another one, and the Bengals know we dropped one last week, we definitely can't drop another one. So both of these teams are desperate for a win for standing purposes, like in the playoffs. So I'm going with Joe Burrow in a tight, close win against in Baltimore. A tight, close win, maybe by like 3 points, something like that, something close to 3 points. I got to go with the Bengals in tonight's game. All right. But that is it for today's episode. Like I said, had a lot to talk about, but I did not want to hold y'all long. All right. So that is it. I'm gonna do my next episode tomorrow night. Okay, I'm confirming it tomorrow night. I'm doing an episode on Saturday during the daytime. It will be posted. All right, that's my picks, and Logan. I believe Logan will be back for that episode, so I cannot wait to do it with him. But that is it for today, y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Much love. I watched tonight's game. It's a huge game, not just because of the AFC North battle, but it's a lot of implications that follow this game tonight. I'll recap this game my next episode. But much love. I'm out.